play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
I'm on. 51 the mic, boy. 51. Hey, 18.
On the run, it's Huntley. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. The ball carrier.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. On 2nd down now, Huntley. Man, this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17.
Brought down behind the line.
The Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
3rd and 9.
Throwing here, Trubisky. And he'll flip this out to Huntley. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the 1st, right around the 15. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. Eddie Pinheiro on now for the Bears. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal, because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say,
now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and they will score a pick 6 for Bears touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talking about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. Fielded in the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And his throw is incomplete. One of his main targets, Delaney Walker, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 4. The Texans on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, picked off by Khalil Mack, and his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
You got tape. You got tape right there.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
The line of scrimmage.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the sticks, sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 7.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Come on.
They'll run it here with Huntley. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
On second and goal, Trubisky. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Jason Huntley on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And this offense continues to pour it on.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
For Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. Taken in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Watson to give. This is Johnson. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. This is brought in at the 21. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Bears take over
At their own 33-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But
now Trubisky lost the football, and the Texans scoop it. You think about it, Charles, this is not a quarterback that's used to running the football a lot, and that time he was loose with it, had it knocked free.
He always has to think to himself that there's always going to be traffic around because of what you just said. Not that elusive, not going to get to the open field very often. Remember, he's not Lamar Jackson, not Michael Vick back in the day. Always has to protect the football because there's always going to be people around. I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Oh, this one is no good. Fairbairn hangs it out to the right, and this score will stay right where it is.
foot, but he kind of sliced it a little bit, and he winds up missing it wide right.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And we're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so.
Touchdown, Chicago! Jason Huntley in the final seconds of the first half. And the Bears add on.
For the extra point.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. Fielded in the end zone. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Third quarter starting with a run from Montgomery. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Montgomery, the ball carrier.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line.
Montgomery, the ball carrier.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. A run with Huntley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They get the first. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Now Trubisky on 1st down. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And some room to maneuver. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. So 1st and 10. And if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now Trubisky going to give this to Montgomery. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
Definitely too early to panic, but that is his 4th carry of the game, and collectively has a total 10 yards. So maybe there's no panic, but maybe some concern.
Yeah, and maybe a little concern up front because they're not giving him any space right now. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on 1st down and just 1 yard there. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense the next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
Gain of 5.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And this one is right down Broadway. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Robert Quinn, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Robert Quinn, a loss of 11 on the sack. It's 3rd.
Now the backup, A.J. McCarron. He'll drop this down to Johnson underneath. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 10 more there and another 1st down.
The tackle made.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield.
Pass. Complete.
It's interesting because when I'm watching college football and I'm evaluating guys for the draft now, my list of fullbacks, pure fullbacks, it's a very short list. I'm probably evaluating more punters and kickers now than I am fullbacks. But it doesn't matter what you call the position, it's who you put there. And there we saw completion.
Brings up 3rd down.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4 down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. That's good for a Texan 1st down, a 12-yard pickup.
Texans 1st down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's McCarron. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
13 yards.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now McCarron. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now at Soldier Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll look underneath and dump it off to Duke Johnson. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. The Texans on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 7. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Khalil Mack, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
A 36-yard attempt.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup. They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Brandon Dunn on
a gain of 3, 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
3rd and 5.
Now Trubisky to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Hard throw, incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Here comes the Bears punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. That 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. Yeah, he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Kyle Fuller there defensively.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
10-10 at their own 41-yard line.